I'd like to welcome everyone here today to celebrate this exciting event for our college and the Aboriginal and Islander education team. The opening of a safe space for all students and a place to cultivate cultural understanding. A special welcome to Bishop Charles, Bishop of Darwin, Brother Daniel Hollenby, Principal Support Catholic Education Office, and our Larrakia elders Tony Lee and Trent Lee, as well as Bella Lee and Nate Gregory representing Larrakia. We celebrate this special day as we close out the week of reconciliation.
In 2020, Reconciliation Australia marks 20 years of shaping Australia's journey towards a more just, equitable and reconciled nation. Much has happened since the early days of the People's Movement for Reconciliation, including greater acknowledgement of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander rights to land and sea, understanding of the impact of government policies and frontier conflicts, and an embracing of stories of Indigenous success and contribution.
2020 also marks the 20th anniversary of the Reconciliation Walks of 2000, when people came together to walk on bridges and roads across the nation to show their support for a more reconciled Australia. As always, we stand on the shoulders of those who came before us, and Australians now benefit from the efforts and contributions of people committed to reconciliation in the past. Today we work together to further that national journey towards a fully reconciled country. Reconciliation is a journey for all Australians, as individuals, families, communities, organisations and most importantly, as a nation. At the heart of this journey are relationships between the broader Australian community and Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. We strive towards a more just, equitable nation by championing unity and mutual respect as we come together and connect with one another.
On this journey, Australians are all in this together. Every one of us has a role to play when it comes to reconciliation. And in playing our part, we collectively build relationships and communities that value Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples, histories and cultures.
To be able to have this space for students to come and learn more is truly special. I would now like to welcome Trent Lee, a local Larrakia man, who will now complete the smoking ceremony to cleanse the room and officially open this space. When directed, home form teachers and year level coordinators will ask year 11s and 12s to come through the smoke, home form by home form. Please be respectful of this sacred process.
Gunamidjindawa. Hello, my name is Bella Lee and I'm a Larrakia girl. And this is my dad Trent and my Apogee Tony and my cousin May. We would like to acknowledge our ancestors, elders past, present and future, and all other Larrakia people and all other Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, and non-Indigenous people too. Larrakia people are the traditional owners of the Greater DUWUN region. Our land spans 50 kilometres to Mountain Dam area to east-west Adelaide River to Cox Peninsula. Welcomes are very important to us because we believe welcoming you to our country and to our spirits. Our spirits will look after yours. It's like when you go to someone's house, you don't just walk straight in, you knock on the door or sing out and wait for them to invite you in. So this is our way of answering the door to you. We believe we come from the earth and we are a part of the earth and the earth is a part of us. We belong to the earth. So in saying that, please walk lightly on our country. Please respect our cultures and traditions. Please be kind to one another as we are all visitors to this life. And respect each other. Thank you.
Thank you, Mama.
We believe we come from the earth and we are a part of the earth and the earth is a part of us. We belong to it. So in saying that, please look lightly on our country. Please respect our people. Respect each other. Thank you, Mama.
lovely to have Bishop Charles here today. I would now like to ask him to come up and address the congregation. Please make him welcome.
The Christian Church has done that from the beginning, incorporating Jewish, Greek, and other Roman and other spiritualities, Celtic, and so on, because it's about embracing the fuller truth. And Pope John Paul II spoke about how the Holy Spirit, for thousands of years, has been walking with the Aboriginal people of Australia, the Torres Strait Island people of Australia, and how God has been, the Holy Spirit, part of their life and still is. So to be able to have that broadening of our understanding and learning, and continuing to listen attentively to the big picture and big story, is part of our own development, especially here in this land, where for thousands of years the Aboriginal people have walked and still walk. There's much we can learn from them, those of us who came in later generations. I recognize that some of you here, of course, are Aboriginal yourself, and that you are part of that heritage. But we are all the richer from learning from each other and sharing with each other. We've seen the very sad events happening in America at the moment, when people do not respect each other, and how anger can continue building up and be explosive. Well, in this country, of course, wrongs have been done. And we cannot deny that wrongs have been done. They were done. Some intentionally, some unintentionally. And we have to acknowledge mistakes done in the past. But it's important now that we work together for what we call the common good. The common good means the good of individuals and the good of all working together, so that we can make this the richer and richer a country that it can be, by supporting each other, healing, and working together. Pope Paul VI, years ago, many years ago, when I was still quite young myself, said there cannot be peace in this world without justice. And justice is so important. But justice, of course, also needs healing. It's more than just justice by itself. It goes hand in glove together with healing. Justice is necessary, healing is necessary. And then we continue moving forward together. So it's great to celebrate today, to celebrate within the culture that has come down to us for thousands of years. Thank you for being here with us and helping us do that. The smoking ceremony, of course, is deeply spiritual. We've used many symbols. We've used incense as part of a smoking ceremony in funerals and other ceremonies ourselves in the larger Christian world, not just here in Australia. And smoking, I see it a bit like that incense, purifying and healing. Great to be here, and I look forward to continue, for all of us to continue growing together in the depth of understanding. In this great land of the South, the great land of the Holy Spirit, that's been blowing here for thousands and thousands of years, and still blows now. Last Sunday we celebrated Pentecost, and Pentecost is about one Spirit for all languages and all people. We call that the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of God.
Thank you, Bishop Charles. We really appreciate your time here today. I would now like to ask Ms. Sherry Bryars, the Aboriginal and Islander Education Coordinator, to come up here and discuss the purpose of this space. Please make her feel welcome.
So, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners, the LARRAKIA people, as custodians of this land, and pay respect to their elders, both past, present and emerging. The team and I are very excited today. Not only does this space mark a memorable moment in MacKillop Catholic College's history, but a historical moment. That reconciliation starts here. I would like to call the Aboriginal and Islander education team forward. Could Roy Levers, Jason Bryars, and our new addition, Nadine Ives, come and stand with me, please. As events like this do not happen with just myself, but a whole team effort. I would also like to acknowledge the work that Paula Melios and April Flattery have put into organising today, and wish them both luck while they're on maternity leave. So what exactly is the purpose of this room? I silently all hear you asking. To understand this purpose, we need to go back into history, our joint history. Education for both Aboriginal and Islander people was segregated, and unfortunately not for the purpose of receiving a better job, but for other hidden government agendas. Australia ran two types of schools, one for the non-Aboriginal children and the other for the Aboriginal children. Over time, policies were developed to combine the non-Aboriginal and Aboriginal students together. Our Aboriginal students, in many educational instances, did not have a very good experience in education. They attended school in a time where racism was felt in the community, was echoed within the school walls. So for many families, looking back into their schooling lives, this was not a happy time, and these feelings have rippled through our families and into our homes over many generations. What this room represents is the giving back to our Aboriginal and Islander brothers and sisters the education that our family members missed out on many years previously. We call it a culturally safe space. A culturally safe place not only for our Aboriginal and Islander students, but for everyone. I think Fiona Hamilton, an educator and activist, explains it best. She states, "For Indigenous peoples and communities, culturally safe spaces are places where imbalances of power, primacy and status are identified and structural adjustment is made to ensure equitable conditions are achieved and maintained." It is with a heart full of hope that this room is seeing more than carpet and glass. Sorry, I get really emotional. It's been a long time coming. But the purpose of this room is to celebrate, nurture, respect, and grow strong Aboriginal and Islander leaders. That our Aboriginal and Islander families can come and use and feel the strength of their children. If we want to build a better school, community, nation and world, it starts with a small room in Palmerston, Northern Territory. It also begins with the name of the room, and I've been practicing. I finally learnt my first word from this area, Gunamidjindawa. We thank our LARRAKIA brothers and sisters for giving us permission to use this name. The saltwater room has now retired. We call it by its LARRAKIA name, Gunamidjindawa, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Learning this word, Dawa, apparently I'm saying it wrong. Learning this word is a token of reciprocal learning between our traditional owners and settlers in this area. This place is for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bryars, for those wonderful words. I would now like to ask Ms. Catherine Ezzie Ford and William MacKillop to present a gift to the AIEW team, Ms. Laura Graham and Father Tom.
I'd like to present this didgeridoo, which, as you can see, it's blank. And there's a purpose for it to be blank, is that significant events that we have in the future will be marked on this didgeridoo, and I would like to present it to Mr. Roy Levers.
Good afternoon, everyone. I also acknowledge the traditional owners, the LARRAKIA people, and pay respect to their elders, both past, present and emerging. Thank you, Ms. Ezzie, for this beautiful gift. It will be valued and displayed in our new, now I'll try to say the word, Gunamidjindawa room, the saltwater space. And this gift will mark the importance of this celebration today, and it will become part of our history. Today will be a very important part of our history, and it'll it will be etched into the lives of families and students who come through this place. Over the past few days, especially immediately after the tragic passing of our beautiful student Lily, students came to the school. They showed us how important it is to have safe places. They came here all day Sunday and they sat around and they wanted to be here. And this space will be one of those places that students come to. A place for young people, a place for them to gather, and a place for them to feel safe. It is important to stop and soak up this moment. It is the right time to dedicate this space. I invite you to right now stop and be silent and to imagine the future. Try looking into the future and imagine children coming into this place. For generations to come, children coming and passing through this space. And we want them to know where it started today and the work of Mrs. Bryce. Thank you. Let's put our hands together. Thank you. That's really well done. I often hear my friend Miriam Rose Bowman say these two things. She says, there is nothing more urgent than what we are attending to right now. And the other thing I hear her say often, there is nothing more urgent that we must hurry away for. So I want us to pause. I want us to know the importance of this time in making history. Be still and see this place as part of our future. It will always be the Gunamidjindawa. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you everyone for coming to this amazing event today. Thank you to those invited guests that have visited and shared with us as a college. We now ask everyone to join us in the Year 11 breakout space for a small morning tea.